Hopefully we can actually get through what we've kind of planned. Tēnā koutou katoa, no mai haere mai ki tēnei whakawhiti kōrero, ko Vioula tōku ingoa, no ihipa o ke tīpuna he Kaihautu whakāturanga ahau I te Papa Tongarewa. Kia ora everyone, and welcome to our short panel discussion. My name is Vioula. I'm an exhibition designer here at Te Papa, and I will be facilitating our kōrero today. I also was lucky enough to work alongside my lovely colleagues here in the making of Manu Rere Moana, the exhibition that reopened in Te Papa's Mana Whenua space November last year, so a year today, I guess, and the focus of our conversation today. Before we do go any further, I'd just like to start off by thanking and acknowledging Simon Corfair, Marama Davidson and Puai Kens for opening up the conference and setting up the kaupapa and the challenges for the NDF community so clearly. We're very honoured to be part of this conversation. We'd also like to acknowledge two very special guests in the audience today, Jack Thatcher and Stanley Conrad, although I have a feeling Jack didn't end up making it, who are two of the three tohunga from our Waka community who were so pivotal to this work and this exhibition, and you'll hear us mention them throughout our kōrero today. But yeah, thank you for being here. I might just let my colleagues start off by introducing themselves, and then I'll do a little bit of background to kind of contextualise and help frame our talk today. If you want to start off?
Kia ora tātai, ko Aurere Thatcher ahau, he uri tēnei no te moana o Tauranga, Ngāti Porou, te Aitanga Hauiti me Ngāi Tahu, tēnei te mihi atu kia koutou. I worked as the Waka Hourua community content manager for the kaupapa Manu Rere Moana, specifically for the digital kiosk. Tēnā tātou.
Kia ora.
Kia ora tātou. Tōku ingoa ko Mahara. Mahara Nicholas no Tauranga Moana. Hoi ko titio aku tūranga he Kaihautu au ringa I titio a tātou Waka Hourua. Sorry. I'm a skipper on one of our traditional double hull canoes sailed across the Pacific, but I'm also a professional haututu, and which gave me sort of a foot into helping out create the space that's on level 4, Manu Rere Moana, and we might talk about some of my haututu-ness.
Kia ora koutou, ko Amos Mann tōku ingoa, he kai whakaputa matahiko ahau I te papa, he Pakeha ahau, he Hurai, Jewish ahau. I was digital producer on Manu Rere Moana, and an incredible honour to work with these guys.
All right, kia ora Amos. So Manu Rere Moana is, as you would have read, is a renewal of one of Te Papa's long-standing exhibitions, an exhibition that opened as part of what we all call Day One here at Te Papa. But this was a project led by the Waka Hourua community, and the renewal of the gallery marks the legacy of Hekenukumai Ngāiwi Busby, who sadly passed away in 2019. It also celebrates the intergenerational mātauranga shared across Te Moananui-a-Kiwa, the Pacific Ocean. So the refresh or renewal proposed to open in 2022 was seen as an opportunity to honour that long-standing relationship Te Papa held with the community, but especially Papa Hek, and an opportunity to refresh the space, correcting and bringing up to date a lot of the information and stories and goals shared within the exhibition. So we'd also like to acknowledge that the work on this exhibition started sometime before the four of us here joined the team. And this work really was led by Hayley Hakarai and Migoto Iria, heads of Te Papa's e-relations team and mātauranga Māori curatorial team. They really led and initiated this work, and took on the kōrero and engagement with our three tohunga from the Waka Hourua community, Jack Thatcher, Stanley Conrad, and Hoturua Barclay Kerr. These three really were the pillars for the mahi, and without them, none of this would have been possible. We wouldn't have Manu Rere Moana. In our kōrero today, the idea is that we're looking to highlight how some of the digital work created for this exhibition provided different experiences and learnings for both Te Papa staff and our community leads. In the exhibition making model, that we kind of say steps beyond co-design and into a realm of community-led. We're going to start off with a really simple, well, maybe not simple, but the very obvious question. What does community-led exhibition making and storytelling in the GLAM sector look like to each one of you, coming from, you know, your particular specific perspectives and your backgrounds? Amos, do you want to start?
Thank you, Vioula. In reflecting on this question, really, I think very simply it's about listening and following. And really reflecting on a personal level, what I learned from the Waka Hourua voyaging community is the fundamental importance to the community of the transmission of community knowledge and community practice. And this happens through leadership, both by direct teaching and training, but also leading by example. And that said, you know, this is a fundamental to every community. And at core, really, there's strong alignment there with goals that are held within the GLAM sector as well. So I believe that for the GLAM sector, it's about listening harder, spending more time listening, understanding the goals more fully, the goals of the community, and about being better followers. And I think just lastly, work, you know, a lot of the hard work is working out how our professional practice can serve what we're being told about what's important, what's correct action, who are the right people, when's the right time, within that existing practice of knowledge transfer that's specific to that community.
Me? What was the question?
What does community-led exhibition making or storytelling for the GLAM sector look like to you? I mean, based off...
Well, I only just yesterday found out what GLAM meant. I thought it was something totally different, but that's all you guys, apparently. My daytime job, I'm a school teacher back in Tauranga, and I teach at our Kura kaupapa. And throughout my, about 20 years sailing across the Pacific, one of the major, you know, the focal points of my style of teaching is actually really in storytelling. And so storytelling is a huge part. And when I come down and was part of this project, that was a big thing for me, is to try and get the story across. We have a lot of stories that could be shared about voyaging and should be shared. There's still a lot of stigma about and, you know, misconceptions about our tupuna drifted here. You know, there's still those sorts of thoughts of people not knowing, ignorant maybe to the wonderfulness of our ancestors. And one of the, you know, we hear stories about kupe. Kupe sailed across the sea. Him and his wives fished up Aotearoa, named Aotearoa. But just talking about those three guys that were our pro for this project. Stanley Conrad's over here. He's in the back there. He's a legend in the Waka community, in the Waka throughout all Polynesia. that guy is a legend. He's a living and breathing kupe. And one thing is, we can sit next to him and talk to him and ask him about his travels. Same with Jacko and Hoturoa. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going with this. But if you want to hear stories, you sit next to this one, he'll tell you stories. Yeah.
I feel like Mahara just exemplified what it was like to be in the room with these guys and how this work came about and how that way of communicating and just feeling like you're part of that sharing of knowledge and how invested you would be in wanting to create this kind of space. Speaking of, Amos, do you want to keep flicking through some pictures? Aurere.
Yeah, well, just to carry on to what Mahara was talking about, it's important to work with the communities here in this sector, the glam sector. I'm the same as him, I only just learnt the word yesterday. But it's important because if you want to tell authentic stories, right, from the people, you need to go to the people. And I suppose I take my hat off to our colleagues for being a part of that process and being very patient with us. Because I know there were a lot of times where it was a bit difficult to work side by side, but yeah, it's really important because if you want to get authentic stories, kōrero, histories, you have to go into your communities and do so. So yeah, big mihi to Te Papa for bringing us into this kaupapa.
Well, I might just throw it in there. So we've talked about community-led. How is it different to co-designing? Like, how is it different to that shared kind of, in terms of you taking the lead, what did that look like for you specifically, Amos, I guess, in this work and the space that you would work in? Yeah,
so I think one of the things is being open to transformation and sort of becoming more and more open to, in the glam sector, we often talk about creating transformative experiences, but actually it's about us becoming transformed and becoming more and more open to being transformed. And if you can come out of this and changed at that organisational level, at that professional level, and then at that personal level, then that's success. You know, that's what success looks like to me. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mahara. So
Yes.
out of the four of us, you're probably the first one to kind of join in the project at the very kind of early conceptual stage.
And we've just been seeing what we received as early concept work from Mahara for the exhibition.
You're also, like you mentioned, you're also a really strong member and leader within the Waka Hourua community yourself, and therefore you bring a lot of lived experience and knowledge to the work in the exhibition. Your role, however, on the exhibition was creative director and illustrator extraordinaire. I don't know what you're calling it. But do you want to take us on a little journey maybe of what that looked like for you from beginning to end?
Yeah, well, I remember when we first come down a couple of years ago, I think it was, and they pitched the idea to some of us, me and my bros, we all crew on Te Rere Waka, and we just come down and we just had an explosion of ideas, you know, what we'd like to see in this renewal of this space. Bring the waka down and put it on a rodeo bull mechanism and get waves crashing over all this sort of wild ideas. Yeah, and then Te Papa come back and said, oh, well, we sort of can't do that. What we come up with was actually real. I really enjoy how we. One of the main things was if you come to Te Papa 2 years ago, there's signs there that say "Do not touch," And Stanley and Jacko, they never listen to those signs. Every time they come down, they'll jump up on the plinth and pull the ropes and everything. And that's one of the first things that we actually stated, that we wanted that waka to come off the plinth, and we wanted people to touch it and feel it and use it and bring it to life. And so that's one of the things. And I don't know, the projection is a environmental projection behind the waka, which kind of gives an impression. An impression of what it could possibly look like out on the ocean. Being real, it's nowhere near close, but it's the best we could do with and then just this guy's doodling on the iPad, but that's how I sort of worked with a lot of the illustrations in the space. It all started with doodling and pencil on paper and stuff, and then with the help of the team at Papa, it actually, I'm quite proud of how it came out.
But it wasn't just doodling. You worked across, the 3 different aspects of the exhibition, both in physical form, both the graphics and the storytelling within the digital experiences that I guess we're about to move into. These 3 particular experiences here that I guess in their own do different forms of storytelling. Amos, do you want to start off by kind of running us through from left to right?
So we'll start off with this one, Mātauranga Tahu immersive projection. And when I first was presented this concept from the community, I was struck. It was, very strong. It was a, super strong concept, and could see it crystal clear. So really where it began for me was in that corridor with Jack and Stan and yourself, Mahara, and just hearing about the voyages and the Tahu in the environment and in the astronomy, and so then we worked really closely on who we would work with, and Mahara. We brought Mahara in as a consultant on the procurement process. Government procurement process. And for this one, we arrived at a company, Dusk, who had just come off another major project with the Waka Hourua community. And what was that like working on that project?
That was actually, the procurement process, I was quite stunned. And I didn't know that's what you got to do for everything. I thought you just asked someone to come along and do it. But we went through a process, and then they were asking me to rate all the different people on certain criteria. I was like, those guys look cool. Those guys done some cool stuff, and
we listened. That was the choice. Yeah.
And that's what happened. That projection, this one, that really, that's cool. He showed us what he could do, and we were telling him, you need to ramp up those waves bigger. We need bigger waves and more whitewash. And then he put Manu in, and I can put a design that shows the tohu of Manu, which is a significant. Tohu, what's tohu? Symbol, while we're out on the ocean. And this projection actually was quite one of the hardest, because what we were trying to do was put a whole voyage from, say, Aotearoa from Rarotonga to Aotearoa, which would be about 25 days, and we were all trying to squeeze it into
10 minutes.
Yeah, into 2 days. So we tried to put everything that we could that we see out on the ocean into this 2-minute reel, and yeah, it actually come out pretty cool. I like the star work and even the compass. Where we talk about we need to go to whare to port, and then when we put the whare up on the horizon, that was actually pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so Mahara, I mean, these are your beautiful illustrations here, but you also clearly had some, creative lead, and you were the eyes and kind of ears behind the work here in terms of direction as well. How did that feel, having all of that kind of responsibility and getting that right? Because I know you've had there are a lot of back and forth between you and the three.
The big bosses. It was, there was a whole lot of, oh, we can't do that. Oh, we try to do that, but we can't do that. Oh, and then they'll come back. Oh, this would be good if you could do this. It's like, no, but that was, those are some of the, and me,
3 minutes.
Really, I was just doing what I was told. Really, in the end, they tell me to draw something for this. I was like, all right, sweet. I'm just a pononga.
All right, I've just been told we've only got 3 minutes left, so we're going to have to whip through some of this.
So this was the touchscreen interactive Aurere, and this began in a number of different. Well, there were a number of different phases to this, but we got to a point where I thought it was just going to be a simple digital label, a template. We could use a template that we've used many times before, and it will work. And then Aurere joined the project, and the concept really, just the vision and leadership that you brought to the project is tremendous. So just wondered if you would talk to that. Yeah.
Yeah, when I came in pretty late into the scene, and there was a whole bunch of whakaaro ideas already there for me to work with. But I actually went back to our chiefs, Uncle Stan and all of them, and I talked to them about what actually they wanted in that. And I also shared some of my own ideas around what I wanted to see in the exhibition. Because what I saw in the past exhibition for Te Aurere was that it had, it had kōrero, it had stories there, but not enough to me. It wasn't enough. And I thought that the kiosk was a perfect way to be able to incorporate some of those extra stories. How Papa Hek built Te Aurere, the lead up to building Ngāhi Raka, Papa Mau and his influential his influence in navigation in Aotearoa, and then just basically the revitalisation of Waka Hourua in Aotearoa basically came through Te Aurere, Papa Hek. And so that was really important, and we really wanted to tell those stories. And our chief said the same thing, especially Uncle Stan. He was really keen to have more kōrero on Te Aurere. And so we went through that. The original concept was actually for the Waka Hourua in Aotearoa. So they wanted to just showcase our seven Waka Hourua that we have here in Aotearoa, to show the revitalisation or the progression of Te Aurere, and now today in modern day, today, now we have 7 waka. But yeah, before even going into those stories, we had to share the stories about Te Aurere and her significance. So in the kiosk, it has 3 major voyages, overseas voyages. The first one, that's my dad, Jack, there. The first sail, the maiden voyage to Rarotonga in 92, one in Hawaii in 95, and then the last one at Rapa Nui was the major one in 2012. So we just wanted to share those stories and show the progression of revitalisation, Waka Hourua, in Aotearoa. And I think with all of us, we did a really good job in showcasing that.
Aurere, can I jump in and ask what this work meant to you personally as well? In reflection, we've had a few conversations about, the things that you were able to do or look at outside of the exhibition making process of this.
Yeah, it was really cool. So I grew up in this Waka Hourua. My dad is Jack, so he pretty much, we were forced to go up north and stay with Papa Hek and stuff. So I was already in this life. I'm not like Mahara. I don't have the sailing experience, especially overseas. Definitely coastal. I'm too scared to go overseas. But so it was really important for me, and because there was a lot of things that I still needed to learn, and that was part of the reason. Like, I wanted to know more as well. I wanted to know what Papa Hek, where he went to fell the tree, how he did that, the tikanga behind it, and all those sorts of things. So really, it was for myself, if I think about it now. But also working with our Waka Hourua community. So if you see in the corner, we've also got our Waka Hourua Aotearoa. So that was really important as well, bringing in our seven or eight Waka Hourua and Aotearoa, and highlighting them as well. So that was really fun, being able to, because I grew up in this world of Waka Hourua, I already had connections to these people in different voyaging societies, so it was really easy for me to be able to just go to them and talk about it with them, and it was really easy for them to talk to me about it because they were comfortable, to do so. And so that's why I go back to the community-led stuff here in Te Papa is really important, right? Because you'll get the most authentic, organic kōrero displayed for everybody to see. And I think that's really important to me. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Amos, I'm going to have to just rush through the next one and just jump through to the last question really quickly, which is, if there was one thing that you wanted people to walk away learning from this kōrero today, what would it be? That goes for the three of you, and then we can let everyone go. Mahara, do you want to start?
Okay. Anyone like to come for a sail? we always open for new members into our community, and we do have Waka Hourua throughout different areas of Aotearoa now, which we're quite fortunate about. But yeah, if you know of a Waka Hourua that's in your area, go along and talk to them, and hopefully we get some more crew who can come sailing with us. I don't know how to answer your question.
That sounds great.
Damn, I had something in my head. Actually, this sort of kaupapa has really opened, allowed space for like the likes of me, where I work in Te Punei Rangiriri, which is my dad's trust. We do Waka Hourua programs at home, and we're going to expand. Having these sorts of kaupapa to draw off, and also working alongside Amos, we've been able to access some of the, especially the kiosk, the digital stuff, to be able to share to our kids back home. Really, really cool. So my point to that is, keep supporting us. Please support us. We need the support in the hopes that in the future, the near future, we will be able to expand on the stories, talk about the migration of Waka Hourua to Aotearoa. How amazing would that be? Telling the actual proper stories of kupe, all of the things that Mahara talked about earlier about the misconceptions around us paddling here, and being able to showcase that to the world. Incredible. I would love that.
Yeah.
Just been such an honour working with you on this. It's been open for a year now. Please go and visit the exhibition.
Kia ora everyone, thank you. Sorry for going over time.